Alright guys, this is Mini back. Let's follow up on what I did here. You guys seen me on this Caprice. Now it fits most Rebel rear ends, or most Rebel kits were like this. And I've already showed you how to lower this, and you do some sanding and you do some dropping and you can get it lower. And some of you guys replied that you want to know how to drop the front end, and here's how you start on the front end. Now I know the Caprice, most of your Buick Regals, your Monte Carlos, they all have a front end like this. Some of your Chevelles, your Buicks, the El Camino, and a lot of them have the front end that comes apart like this. Some of the newer stuff has, some of the newer kits have where you build the front end different. So this style of front end, where your setup is like this and it goes back into the frame like this, this is how we're going to set this one up. So what I do to lower mine when I have a chassis like this and I want to drop the stance of it, say for like pro touring or like the slam look of a lowrider or something like that, what I use is my Dremel, and I use the Dremel and I use another spiral wheel. Guys, I've been using my Dremel for 20 years, since they came to a market where you can hold them by hand. So it's going to take you guys some work. Take a little off at a time. Go little, do it by layers. Do a bunch of test fitting, and I'm going to try to set this up in a way to where you guys will be able to follow and see what I do. I don't have the stand. I went and looked at the stand like little Joe showed us, but I'm using a Kodak Easy Share camera and not my telephone. I know Joe's going through some things right now. Joe, just take care of yourself. Get yourself put back together and take care of what you need to. You had made a comment about being a good man. I believe, Joe, you're a good man. Just you need to focus on you for a minute, and that's understandable. Most of us would know that. For our Australian buddies, I heard about the hostage thing that went down this week, and I'm in the middle of the U.S., and I just wanted to say that from my standpoint on the situation, the world has gone to hell in a handbasket, and it's taken all these people with their own mixed agendas, I want to say. My area is being stricken by police violence versus racial violence, and it's just things that I believe every society is stricken with now. I don't think there's a safe, undrama place anymore in our world, and it's going to take something major to cure us from that. So I hope your guys' community down there can pull through and realize that this was one man's actions on one man's beliefs, and not, directed as to who you guys are going to be or where, your guys' country is headed. We have all kinds of, if you had me tell you the truth, we have all kinds of nutbags, easy way to put it, in this world, and we gotta love each other like brothers. We're all human beings. We should all just grasp reality to what it is, and some of these people can't be saved, and some of these people are just, they've lost their wits. I was watching 420 Garage yesterday's video, and he has a hard time with this time of year, he says, and he called it the holiday depression. Guys, on December 13th of 2008, my brother overdosed, and nobody could save him, and before they found him, he was already gone. And the way they relayed the message back to my parents still to this day breaks my heart. Is my mom and dad lost their firstborn. I lost my older brother. And these time of years, I'm getting a little choked up now, but My brother used to be a good person, and he gave himself to sickness. And that's, most people think, drug addicts, alcoholics, people that are suicidal with depression, it's stuff that they can't help. They choose to do whatever they have to do to cope. And I believe my brother was hurting, and my brother chased something other than help, I guess, if I want to say it. If he was still with us today, I don't know if he'd be sober, but I just know that I've loved him every day the same. So this time of year is hard for a lot of us. My wife has lost her father many years ago, so I know this time of year is hard for her. And it's just, our society, we have to overlook what we see, and we have to keep ourselves focused versus somebody's actions taking over. I'm sorry for anybody that's lost anybody, but on my beliefs, if you seek out trouble, you're going to find trouble. If you pillar and rob, there's consequences. If you intoxicate yourself, you can end up hurting yourself or other people. So for every move you make forward, don't forget what you leave behind. So that's just me opening up a little bit. I feel for you, 420. I understand, depression is not very good, but I will admit to you guys, my addiction that keeps me sane, that keeps me from grabbing hostages and tearing up a community like what happened with Clem and them down in Australia. And like my brother's, my brother's final days is my hobby. I love my family. I love my kids. And sometimes, things just get out of hand at work, frustrated with bills and money at home. That this right here is my stress relief. If I need to go tear something up, I ain't going to do it to my wife, and I ain't going to hurt my children. I'm not going to, how they say, do something at work, bite the hand that feeds you. I come down here and I relax down here. There's sometimes so much can be averted if you just focus on something that draws you away from that. This right here calms me down. I don't smoke. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do no activity drugs. I'm not anybody's father other than my children. I can only tell them what to do. I can't tell nobody else what to do. I could show you in my hobby what I enjoy doing, what I prefer to do. It's hard. It seems like, me and my wife was talking yesterday, it seems like those who want to sit on their derriere and let us who work really hard take care of people that don't deserve to be taken care of, it's easier for them. It seems like they benefit more. But, that's just what we have to deal with. And someday, maybe I'll be in a position to where I won't have to worry about working day to day. But let's get back to here. Sorry, I got off track a little bit. So let's, I'm going to run out the Dremel real quick. And I'm going to show you guys what to do first. So always start with your wheels. You want to get your wheels set up. Put your front end in their stock and look at how high it is from when you start, so this is the starting point. My other video, I already showed you how to bring the wheels in, where that way they're up in the body and not sticking out all crazy. So find out where you need to be, where you want your ride height. Pull that all back off, and I always start with the frame. I always take my wheels off though. And I start with the frame because you can sand this down, but you don't really get a whole lot of movement here as you will here. So let's put my wheel in there. Get that wheel in there. Alright, I'll take 1 second, guys. It's gonna be a little bit of noise. And then what I do is, you see where the frame is, and right here's your upper A-arm. I don't think you guys can see that. And what I do is I usually take my Dremel and I'll start from right here, and I go all the way up to up here, because if you're lower than that, you still have all this other frame that's still going to have to be lowered too. So let's just do that real quick. Now, always look at your work. Now, this right here is just a rough cut. See how much lower it is than the one across the side, if you guys can see. And this right here is just rough right now. What I did is I went and took it to the motor mount first, where the motor mount sticks. Then you can always come back and clean it up. One way I clean it up is I'll go sideways like this and sideways like that, and I'll bring it down and get that right there cleaned up a little bit, and then we'll go check our size again. But always look, for those that are going to be new at this, look and see, take your time and do a little bit. I'm used to doing this, and like I said, I already know the tools I'm working with, but I'll be right back. Alright, so now before you guys move on, look and see how much lower we lowered that frame there, and that's going to lower your mounting point. And in order to get a good true fitment, go in there and clean everything up. You got to go in there and you got to get everything cleaned up before. Oops, sorry guys, I hit the camera stand. Butterfingers. You just got to get that all cleaned up before. And my battery light is blinking. I don't know if I'll get this whole video in. Dang it. But I'm learning that movie maker thing, so looks like I'll just have to splice them together. So now with that out of the way, you go in there and you reset your front end, and you notice that it didn't go down too far. It just didn't go down too far. That's because all we really did is trim this. We haven't, made the stacks any smaller. So all we're doing here is cleaning up the frame. So I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. And it looks like I'm going to take a minute and pause this. And then we'll restart and we'll get this video spliced together for the movie, I think, if need be. Because I don't know if my batteries are going to last. So let me turn this back on, see if I can't tackle this other side real quick. Like I said, don't forget, you always got to clean up your work before you guys start to do test fitting, and that way you know that you're getting the truest fit you can when you're adding in your new parts. And then, like, I've seen some people doing some customizing work. I don't want to discourage anybody, but we was talking about constructive criticism. If you're got an old build-up and you're trying to redo the old build-up, or say you're trying to make a king cab out of an old built-up 2 pickup cabs, please take the time and strip them down. Take the time and strip them down and start with as clean as plastic as you can. You'll always get the best fit. Alright, now see, this right here is just a frame sanded, and you see how it's still the same height because we haven't taken care of this. But I always start with the frame first. It's the easiest, and you guys will see the little holes and gaps easily filled up with either body filler or super glue and whatnot. And that right there, then right there is easy body work that can be done. Maybe some sheet plastic. Alright, so let's tackle this. So now what I'm going to do here first, and I'm going to try to take out just the pegs and this bracket, and I'm not really going to try to get into the A-arm itself very much. So pull the wheels and tires back off, and let's get back at this. Alright. Now if you look, see how I just went flat across with the A-arm stuff? Let's get that cleaned up so you guys can see that. I'd also recommend, before you glue this in place, is you try to make sure you have your wheels and tires on it. And when you do a process like this, see the little holes that are in there from the factory? You can make you some guide pins and put in the holes that are in the frame, but we're lucky on this one here. On this one here, there's actually squares still in here. So you'll try to line them up with your front end. And then once you do that, you put that in there like that. There's going to be some, you're going to have to do some tweaking. Yeah, you'll have to do some tweaking. There it goes. And then you put your wheels back on. And you see how much lower you got it. And then sometimes, you know, you might have to go into your A-arms if you need to get it lowered the way you need to go. But start little. Do small movements first. Yes, gotta get that. There's still some areas need to be paid attention to here. But now look at from where we started to where we're at now. Now look how low you guys got it. See? Then if you put your rear end back in and you get the whole thing sitting on the ground, you'll be able to, I got to get some, some things here need to be moved. I'm going to cut these right here down. Yeah, those broke. Those right there broke. So let's take off that other one. Okay, it looks like I have to trim these down just a little bit. So here you guys can use your Dremel, but I have these pinch clips and I'll just pinch it off just a little bit. And then let's sorry, the battery cut out there a minute ago. So here's the final results. If this is too hard to follow, let me know. I can do some still pictures for you and just show you some things. But this is this will be your final look, and you can keep going lower. Just keep sanding. This is as low on this one as I want to go. And don't forget, you still got to factor in your oil pan.